Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am currently on a website called Geogebra, which is an interactive math and science application. And today I'm going to be showing you how to graph vectors. So starting off, we're going to go to the top right of this page where there are 9 dots, and we're going to click on it, and at the bottom there is Geogebra Classic. Once you click that, it will bring you to a page where you can graph a bunch of different things. So we're going to start by graphing our first vector, which will be on the left side where there is a little input bar, and we're going to type in a variable of your choice, which I'm going to use variable u, make it equal to, type in vector, and there are 2 ways you can make a vector, which is with one point and with a starting and end point. I'm just going to use 1 point, but there is actually an issue if you just type in your coordinates right away, because you actually need to type in another set of parentheses so that your vector will display properly. And there we have our first vector. And because we chose to only insert one coordinate pair, the origin or the beginning of vector u will always be at 0, 0. Alright, now let's make our second vector, which is vector w, and this time we're going to add a starting point and an end point. So we want our 2 vectors to be touching head to tail. So our starting point for our vector w is going to be the end point of vector u, which is x value of 1 and y value of 2. And I'm just going to pick a random coordinate pair for our end point. So let's do x value of 2 and y value of 2. And there goes our second vector, vector w, and now we have 2 component vectors. So we're going to draw a final resultant vector that is the addition of these 2. So I'm going to make my resultant vector, vector f, and we're going to choose 1 point because the origin is at 0, 0. So that point is going to be the end point of vector w. And now we've successfully created our little 2D vector, and we can actually mess a little bit with the color and the size of our individual vectors. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click on vector u and go down to settings. And now as you can see on the top there are a couple of different categories. We're going to go to color, and we can change what the color of the vector is. So I'm going to change it to pink, and also in styles we can change the line thickness. And we can do so with every other vector. Now for our final vector, which is our resultant vector, you might want to change the line style, which means you can make it a little dotted line to show that it is the resultant of these 2 component vectors. Speaking of resultant vectors, there's actually another way you can make a resultant vector from 2 components. So we're going to go back to the left side and create a new input. So for our new resultant vector, I'm going to be using the variable m, and I'm going to be making it equal to vector u plus w. And now you can see that vector m is the exact same as vector f. So there is the addition of 2 component vectors to create a resultant vector, but you can also subtract 2 vectors. And you could do this in the exact same way, but just by switching the signs. And there we go. There we have our vector n, which is the subtraction resultant of our 2 component vectors. Alright, so that is a little bit about creating, adding, and subtracting vectors on GeoGebra. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.